I'm Nikita Rana and this is Nikipedia, and today we're talking about the Indian economy and how we got here. Now, when it made headlines that Bangladesh's GDP per capita has beaten India's, everybody was very upset, and most of all Indian comics, because they will no longer be able to make jokes like this.
So when I was in the UK, they launched the banner of early ceiling, so I was fucking excited. I went to all my friends, like, guys, come check out, there's a ceiling in my city, there's a ceiling in my city. But no one's excited. Because my flatmates were German, American, and Chinese. Like, hey, fuck off, we have 30,000, fuck off. But I was excited, and I had to share it with someone, right? So I'm like, hey, Bangladeshi.
This video is about the reasons that may explain how we got here. The four biggest ones are the NPA crisis, the NBFC crisis, demonetization, GST, and of course, COVID-19. First, NPAs, non-performing assets. These originated around the mid-2000s when the Indian economy was doing relatively very well and there was a lot of liquidity. Corporations were getting loans fairly easily based on future projections. And then close to a decade later, in 2008, when the global financial crisis hit, the economy slowed down and a lot of these corporations were unable to give back the loans that they had taken. This is what constitutes the large NPAs. In fact, if you watched Bad Boy Billionaires on Netflix, it's kind of the Malia story, but maybe with a lot of smaller entities, and not that all of them are criminal, it's just that they couldn't sustain the business that they had said they would be able to generate. Now, what has happened because of this is that banks have become very stingy in giving out loans for the right reasons, because they already have a lot of bad loans on their books. This has led to a liquidity crunch, which means that businesses, both good and bad, are no longer able to get loans, which means nobody's investing in their businesses, which means less products are being manufactured, less people are being employed, and therefore there's a vicious cycle in which the Indian economy remains. Now the second reason, demonetization. In 2016, when this was announced, the reason was supposed to be to bring back all the black money that was in the Indian economy. But according to the RBI, 99% of the demonetized cash came back into the system. So it's safe to say that that was a failure, and it did, even if temporary, it was a huge shock to sectors like real estate, agriculture, anywhere where a large number of people are employed and their salaries are paid in cash on a daily basis. It's estimated that close to 1.5 million jobs were lost because of demonetization, and all the other problems that we face because of standing in lines and trying to withdraw money from ATMs and returning money to banks is all over and above that. A lot of lives were also lost because of it. Third reason, GST. Now, the idea behind GST was fantastic, and we've been trying to implement it for many, many years. Many governments have tried to do it, but the implementation lacked many things, and because of that, small and medium-sized businesses have suffered the most. There were too many slabs. The government tried to fix that later, but there's still a little too many, and also the costs based on compliance and then trying to get your money back from the government, it's all a very complicated process and slows down businesses, especially for SMEs. Now, COVID-19. Now, when the lockdown was implemented in March this year, it was one of the strictest lockdowns world over. And maybe our country didn't need that. Maybe we needed an approach that was more localized and took into consideration the economic repercussions right from the beginning. But too little was known about the virus and the way it was spreading. Different countries were following different things. But the economy has suffered a great deal, which is why we've opened up completely now. The virus is still not under control, and the economy has definitely paid a huge price for it. Now, if you want to go into more detail, there is a paper by Arvind Subramanian and Josh Feldman, a working paper by the Center for International Development at Harvard University. I've put the link in the description. According to this paper, India had a twin balance sheet crisis, which was because of two sectors, banks and infrastructure. And now this crisis has become a four balance sheet crisis because of four sectors: banks, infrastructures, NBFC, real estate. And there are two arguments now. One set of people argue that the Indian economy was doing terribly even before COVID-19 hit, and because our problems were not being solved by monetary policy and even the fiscal policy. There is another set, which is also the government, that says no, the economy was doing very well till about Feb 2020 and it's only because of COVID that we've taken a hit. But to get into the details, you'll have to read the paper. It's 39 pages long, and if you do, please leave me a comment. That's it from me. Thank you.